dia, meu querido Uno. Quanto tempo? O que é que tá se passando com essa cabeça? Eu sei das injustiças que esse mundo tem feito com você. Vamos sair dessa e ir pras ruas. Lutar por justiça.
Tio, eu escuto a voz dos carros. O senhor não acha que se os carros pudessem conversar com todo mundo, isso não deixaria as pessoas mais isoladas, individualistas?
Eu acho que o ser humano é uma espécie natural.
Será que estamos nos transformando em máquina?
Precisamos avançar, aumentar os recursos, aprimorar as potencialidades, utilizar os nossos inimigos a nosso favor. As peças reviverão em novos corpos. Os Kings!
Hello, welcome to the Q&A of King Carlo Rey, and we have our guest with us today, Renata Pinheiro, and she is on Zoom today, and I would like to welcome you, Renata. Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you, everybody.
Congratulations on your movie.
Oh, thank you very much.
Here. How are you doing?
I'm fine. Well, I'm in Brazil, so the COVID is very hard here. I'm not in a safe place, but I'm trying to take care of myself here and my family.
Okay.
It's
are things over there for your family? Everything is okay?
Yes, thank you.
Yeah. Okay. That's good to hear. I don't know if you when did you shoot the movie? Was the filming ready before? I guess the filming was ready before all of the COVID things started happening.
Yeah, I shot in 2019, and we don't know what was going to happen. But anyway, in 2020, we have a couple of states here, and Brazil changed a lot. So the life here, it was already very strange and bad, and in a bad mood. So the film, I don't think it's a happy movie, but it's a kind of our reality in that moment, and now it's worse.
So it's very good that you were able to finish everything. When did you do the editing and all of that? That was like in the middle of the COVID thing, or was that completely finished before, or?
Last year, I was editing the movie, and in the second semester, we thought about shooting a little bit more, like 3 days only. Yeah. And we could do that even with the COVID, but we had like a small crew and 3 days only, and we had like we stayed in the same house in out of the city, many sorry
I didn't say anything.
No, it's the producer is here, and my English is not so good, and he's trying to help me. I think we have 3 days to finish the movie and the editing last year, and well, we put it in Rotterdam, and hope to we got in Rotterdam. That was so good. But the first shooting was in 2019, and the second shooting of 3 days was last year.
Okay. Okay. And how long did you how long did the shooting take in 2019?
Yeah, I think the first shooting was like 1 month of shooting, and
Okay.
more two about preparing the shooting, and the second shooting was 3 days only.
Okay.
Yeah,
And
because mm,
and when you look at how things are going, I feel there's this sort of a political message in the movie, and I assume uh, sort of what is for you the most important message that you have put into the movie?
you mean what's the most important things in the movie or in the shooting? I'm sorry, I
Yeah,
didn't
in
listen.
it's, so the movie has a message and might
Ah,
have a few messages. Which message for you is the most important one that you put into the movie?
okay. No, for me, I think the most important message is about the false prosperity project. You know, when a politic or a social movement or things something like that
Hmm.
say to you a false prosperity project, you know, you have to be very pay attention because that was what happened in Brazil, you know, in
Hmm.
2050 15, and like the most population, the most people in Brazil was going in a false project of prosperity, and now we have really a fascism president in power, you know,
Hmm.
in the
Okay.
power. So in my movie, we have like something that seems to be good for everybody, for the community, but then it's turned to a bad thing for the community, like a false prosperity project, you know. And I mean, it happened to Brazil, but it can happen to any country, you know, around the world. We have another kind of
Yeah.
things like that happens.
Yeah. Yeah. That's true. Um,
Yeah.
as a visual artist, how did you how did you have this? How did you create? How did your process go to bring your visual work into this together with the story?
Okay. Yeah, I think my experience in fine art and in production design helped me a lot. Well, I knew that I have to be very creative and with a visual very power, you know. But
Hmm.
that was like 2 years of researching and doing little projects, and then after, you know, when you are close to shooting, you have you crew your friends that can help you, and I have my producer designer that
Hmm.
that's the second move that she worked with me. So my photographer as well, he know me very well, and we could work together, and that was kind of very challenging movie for me because we choose that city because there's a like a car culture, you know. The people like love cars in that city, and
Like
in that
Detroit in the USA.
yes, like
Yeah.
that, yeah. And we have the ambience, so we went to work with the small reality that we are going to build in, so
Hmm.
we try to be very assertive in the settings that we should choose, like the junkyard, and everything was like very, they thought about very very long, to be very assertive in,
Hmm.
in the in the in the settings. I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's okay.
Ah,
No worries. Take your time. Um, what I really liked was the detail in the car. The first speaking car had a lot of, well, it looked really like a real special car. How did that process happen?
okay. Yeah, the car is like a retro futurist. You can see the past and the future in that car, because it's like a Frankenstein. It's a car made by little pieces of another cars.
Hmm.
So the visual is not futurist only. And we had to develop uh, applicative, that could speak and make like a graphic.
Yeah.
Uh, in the same time, the actor was talking. That was made by a kind of scientist, technologist.
Yeah.
He could made it for us. So we had one actor that was doing
Hmm.
the car voices outside the camera, and talking to the actor that was inside the car. That was very helpful for us, because otherwise we could not have, the reality, the feel
Hmm.
that was really happening in that time.
Yeah.
So that gave the car life. That was good. Like, as a director, that was really good for me.
Well, I really liked it. It was really, really well done. You can see that a lot of work was
Yeah.
put into it. Um, Sven, you.
Yeah, I was asking myself when you were writing the story about this movie, about the car, how did you come up with the idea to use a car that can talk to people and that seems good and looks nice for everyone, but eventually turns bad? How did you come up with that idea?
Okay. Yeah, for me, like a mobile or a car, it's almost the same thing. It's something that is with you every day and every hour. Well, in Brazil, people use car to do to live, because the public transportation is not very
Hmm.
good here. So even the people that are working class can, if they can, they will afford a car, get a car to live it. So for me, is the technology is going to be uh, something not good. If a car can speak, it's not a futuristic idea. It's something that is going to happen. I think that there is a car that can talk into the driver already, and the movie talks about who is talking to you, and it's good for you. It will be more human, or it will be a machine, and you know the politics use technology to be to win a votation.
Yeah,
Yeah.
votes.
Yes. Yes. Thank you. But sometimes it's with a very fake news. So we have to be very careful about the technology. So it's a movie that invites you to think about it. About the individualism, and the individualism is something that is close to the technology, that the technology is going to do the people better or not. I think we need the technology, you need the science, and we have to fight to get the technology and science in a good hands always, because otherwise, the bad guys will get it to make the life worse. And I think the movie talks about it.
Well, I had a feeling at some point at the end that reality was already there when I saw all the cars flashing their lights. It reminded me of a video I saw of Tesla cars getting their updates, and all cars on a big parking lot had their lights start to flash. So it is sort of a reality already.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the Zé Macaco's army. Is like the king's car growing in a way. And yeah, that's idea of the movie is not the ending there, but it's going happened with us.
So it means there's maybe also a sequel coming for the movie. It gives it gives the impression that something else is coming.
Yes, yes, that is it.
Yeah. Okay, that's looking forward to that.
Yeah.
But what I was wondering, in the movie you had Uno who was able to communicate with the cars, and I had the impression it had to do something with the phosphor and all of that. Also, did that have something to do with the fact that he was born in the car? Uh, what is the real story about him, or the explanation for him understanding or being able to hear what cars have to say?
Yeah, yes, I think I was there when it happens. And yes, it was because the child has born in the car. And that was the day the car gets life. The car go out of the shop, that day. So the buff born in that day, and that's fantastic. I don't know. We are talking about a fable, and everything can happen, and the human being and the car born in the same way, and that was like a fantastic event
Oh, okay,
that
okay, thank
happened.
you.
And
Yeah.
they have the same age, and that's it. And,
Okay.
can I invite my uh, because I'm here with the screen player,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, sure. If
and
you want, let him come.
to
Uh,
talk about, because
yeah.
he can explain very well. My English is not good, and we have so many things to talk about, and I could.
Well, I
I
understand
I
everything you say, so that's great. It would be nice. I don't know if it's possible for you to get them in the same screen,
Okay.
so that we have one screen, so that we can have you
Yeah.
here in our edit. Yeah.
Okay. Sérgio. Okay. Okay. Sorry,
Take your
guys,
time.
because
That's okay. It's very welcome.
Hi, everyone.
Hello.
Hello. Hello.
Hello. Nice to be in the
Welcome.
festival. Thank you.
Well, yeah, it's a bit different this year, but well, we try our best to get sort of the same atmosphere. So yeah, yeah. So
Oliveira.
what is yeah? Go ahead.
No, his name is Sérgio Oliveira.
Yes, I'm the producer and also the co-writer of the film.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, what was for you how did you get involved in this project, and what was your did you started writing together, or did you come in later?
Yes.
How did that happen?
Renata, she was like, we are married and we bought an apartment near a square, a place, right? And
Okay.
most of the time it's quite close to the beach. And when we went to the beach, when I used to go to the beach, the cars were like parked on the sidewalks. And she was like say, oh shit, they are the owner of the city. The cars, especially in Brazil, they cars in Brazil are like a good that is aimed for every social class, and it's more for needing. It's more like it's like a dream of everyone to have a car, especially because the public transports are not good at all. Then and she said the car is king, and this name car king caught me, and I start to write about a tale about where the cars could speak, and the cars were like inhabitants of the city as well, like they really are. Then that when it happens, when it born.
Okay, cool. Yeah, that's so. It is for you. It came out of reality, while realizing it was already in a way that way, and you just made it bigger.
Yeah, and especially this transhumanism as well. That came the theory of transhumanism too, and they start studying that. And the first draft of the screen was like there were like many cars speaking, and they are talking in the streets, and they were like kings in the streets, like they really are, as I mentioned before. And the things like they are like animals they're like humans. And previously we've done a film. The name is Walt Disney Square, and we did like this choreography with cars already in this short film that we've done. It's a documentary, and it's full of intervention as well. But this ballet that we've done with cars, that just it was like good to see that, and the result was really good. And we start like thinking about this. Well, how? And Renata has this characteristic of in her work she can use like inanimate things to act, and that's a good thing. And that's when it really happened. The idea to do this film.
Yeah. And it's also a little bit the other way. At some point, do people become machines? You're saying that there was a choreography with cars in a previous project, but you had this choreography with these mechanics. Were they dancers or something? And how did that come together?
Yes, they are dancers. They are dancers, and that was on purpose that we invited them to perform, because they are dancers in a street dance association or stuff like that. And they are dancers. Most of them are dancers.
Cool.
They can dance pumping. That seems like a robo dancing. That was what we needed.
Yeah, it looked really cool. So yeah.
And how did you come up with certain character traits, especially for the uncle, which was a very interesting character to see? How did you come up with those?
You know, I didn't understand. Sorry, because
Como chegou o tio para fazer Matheus Argado.
o ator.
No, Matheus Nastegal is a friend of us, and oh yeah, he's got a Belgian parents as well. And,
Yeah.
Yeah, we have this personage, this character already, and we try to it was like a guy in the first draft of the script that was everything was the environment of the car was like a rich class, right? Afterwards we changed, and this guy that it's Uno's uncle was like employer of the house that can make everything, like the people that can. I mean, it's quite common here to have servants, and he was a servant in the house. Afterwards, when we changed the social class of Uno, that it was more likely to be like working class. We reckoned that time, and then that was the result of the film. Then we just thought about Matheus Nastegal doing that, and the uncle came with him as well, and he brought with him many things and many tricks and many characteristic and design of the personage of the character. He's a very famous actor in Brazil. He's like the biggest one. Every time he's in the TV, he's on films, and he's in everything. And we afford him to do because he's a friend of ours, because he's quite expensive.
Yeah, you did a really good job on the movie.
He did, yeah, definitely, yeah.
Yeah, I thought he was very intense at moments. But when you say that he's an expensive actor, you know him. That's it all makes sense now. We are he's a well-known actor in Brazil. How is in Brazil the general? How is it in Brazil to make movies? How does it all? Can I compare it to anything?
Yeah, it used to be
very good.
Very good. We have like a small company, Aroma Films, and we use it to make like one film a year, maybe two movies a year. I mean, short and feature film. But now it's so bad, you know. This government is like killing the cinema, Brazilian cinema. We don't have found, we don't have anything, and I have a small money to make another film now that we won in
3 years ago.
3 years ago, yeah. But even to try to get more, it's not possible anymore, because it's like destruction of the culture. We are living in a they are like as if we were enemies, you know, of the country. Like
it's a quite far right the president, and they have like fascist ideas that everybody knows already. And the first thing that he started doing was like destroy the culture and the movie makers, especially because there were so many good policies for cinema in Brazil. Like I think it was the best country in the world for about 5 or 6 years, like to do cinema here. That's why there were some like hundreds of films, and especially in festivals in Europe, in the USA, and everywhere. And now, we think we're going to have like a shortage of Brazilian films from now on, definitely.
That's a pity. Do you think it's a thing for the long run, or do you think there's good things coming? Sorry, stop going. Stop talking. Do you think it's it's something that will change in the near future, or do you think? Are you afraid that it's?
Hopefully it will change because this president goes till next year, right? And maybe, fortunately, he will be defeated in the election next year. And if you have like a center or left wing government, it will change definitely. Yeah, because there are so many people involved in cinema here in Brazil. It's more than 300,000 people like doing cinema all over the
Yeah.
country. Then it's like most of them nowadays are like without any job, and they're trying to to survive. Don't know why, but you're going to lose a generation of good technicians and actors and directors and all of this because the public funds are like really rare nowadays, and you have to do connections with Europe or Iber Media and stuff like that, funds, international funds. But to shoot in Brazil is not like easy. It's quite expensive actually because the machinery and the stuff and I mean it's like the normal thing. It's not like Europe. I think it's more expensive in Europe than here. That's for sure. But we have to cope now to shoot like small crews and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Not like although we shoot Chicago Hey, it was like about 40 people crew, including actors. That we did like a miracle because the film looks like more rich than it really like the amount of money that we have to shoot. And yeah, but I think it will change. I mean, I have hope.
Yeah.
Well, you were able to make something in this period, so well, I can only assume if things get better and when things get better eventually. Well, I'm looking forward to more. More good movies. Even if you say that this one has low budget, the visuals and how the cars look and all of that were really nice. So that
It didn't look like low
well
budget.
done on that.
Yeah. Thank you.
And when now the movie making is difficult in Brazil, are more filmmakers more eager to go to streaming services because of cinemas who aren't doing well, or is streaming not as big in Brazil?
I'm sorry, we didn't listen very well. I'm sorry. Can you repeat this? Your answer, please. Your question, please.
Yeah, sure. I was asking of now that movie making is more difficult in Brazil because of the cinemas and because of the government, are more movie makers more eager to go to streaming services instead of the cinema?
Oh, definitely. Yeah, both of us were going to streaming. Yeah,
Yeah.
we have to go. There's no option. There's no way out. You have to, to cope with reality and to live. Then we are trying to do a TV series now with international company, and yeah, that's
I
it.
have
Most of the people that I know that is like from Rio, São Paulo, Recife, or wherever, we are like changing to streaming. Yeah, that's a world thing that's happening today everywhere.
Yeah. Hopefully, I was invited to direct a TV series this year. We are just waiting for the disease stopped. Yeah, but it's not easy.
And do you think the future of movie making all over the world is more eager to go to fully to streaming, or do you think cinemas will in the future have a great part in the movie making too?
I think the COVID affects everywhere, especially the commercial theaters and stuff, and it's quite a pity that something is going to change. That's for sure. Like I don't know what's going on. I don't know what's going to happen, but there will be a big change. because this COVID thing, the advent was like ubiquitous and everywhere. Every country in the world like has like more protocols to follow, and especially like festivals, and that the festivals are the it's quite important to be present in a festival because you can do like network, and you can talk to people, you can meet people, and especially in the industry or in the artisan movie makers and alternative stuff. And nowadays we just don't have it. It's quite bad. It's really bad to think. I don't know what's going to happen, but I think that streaming going to occupy. I think that was like meant to be in cinema, and the streaming policies are not good at all. Like they just you have to follow rules to do things, to do films and stuff. It's quite rare to see like a film sponsored by a streaming company, especially the big ones that they are good. They are not good. They're like they got like a formula, or they got like a rule, like you have to do like that, and that's it. And it's quite bad actually. It's really awful, like to think that, especially like the art cinema will be like really affected with that. And I have friends in Belgium as well, like they are like in the industry, not in the industry, but they are movie makers, and they are all going to streaming, like doing soap opera, not soap operas, but like TV series and stuff like that. And they just that I think I remember like in Portugal about I don't know 8 years ago, when Portuguese cinema was quite good, and there were like so many good things like happening there, and the government like decided not to give funds anymore, and the cinema in Portugal like just went down, like, and yeah, shame.
Other things you learned while making this movie, and things you would have done different?
If I had more time and money, I would like to shoot with the cars with action scenes, and more with car. We don't have many scenes with cars in the streets because we don't have money to do that. And we needed, in the second shooting, I had to shoot the city, the streets, because we had so small minutes of image, and that was because our budget was small for this kind of movie, and we have this difficulty, but well, that's the movie. We are happy with it anyway.
Or if that's the only thing that you wanted to change, I mean, for you it was a success.
Yeah.
So that's very good. So are there things you are working on that you want to have ready for our next year festival?
Sorry.
We are working in a next feature film that we are going to shoot, hopefully the end of this year or next year.
Yes. Yeah.
And
we are trying to make a King Car TV series as well. Yeah, because
we had an offer to do that.
Yeah. And,
maybe it's very nice.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Gathers everything, like the evil and the good guy, and there are like some elements that I think it could work in a TV series.
Okay, that's good to hear. Well done on that. Well, I want to thank you for being our guest. We have to round up already, but I'm very glad you were here with us, and we could have this chat with you. It was really nice. Thank you very much. And
Thank you.
no. Thank you. So yeah,
Thank you. Yeah.
I'm looking forward to seeing you guys in real life, maybe next year or another at the BIFF in Brussels. So
Oh,
yeah,
Yeah,
it will be
It will be
great. Thank
great.
you very much. Thank for the audience that watched the film. And well, we are very happy to be in the BIFF. And I'm sorry about my English, but I think we had a very good interview. Thank you for the questions and that pleasure conversation.
the pleasure is
very
all
much.
ours.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes, indeed.
Bye bye. See you later.
Bye bye.
Bye bye.
Ciao, ciao.